Okay, so the head teacher of a school claims that 30% of parents do not support a new curriculum. In a survey of 20 randomly selected parents, the number X who do not support the new curriculum is recorded. Assuming that the head teacher's claim is correct, find the probability that X equals 5. So let's look for some clues in the question. Okay, so the claim is that 30% of parents do not support a new curriculum. Okay, in the survey, 20 of these parents were randomly selected, and X, just be clear, X is those who do not support the new curriculum. Okay, and that should be enough for us to get going. Assuming that the head teacher's claim is correct. So if the head teacher's claim is correct, then X will follow a binomial distribution of 20 and 0.3. All right, happy at this. I know that this appears in the tables, and any cumulative probabilities I can use the tables for. Trying to find the probability that X equals 5. So this isn't cumulative, but I can make use of the probability that X is less than or equal to 5 minus the probability that X is less than or equal to 4. Okay, so everything less than or equal to 5. If I was to remove everything less than or equal to 4, I'll be left with only the 5. Okay, so just look those values up in the tables. (0.4164) minus 0.2375 should leave us with 0.179. Okay, so in the next part of the question, we're asked to find the mean and the standard deviation of X. Since this is a binomial distribution, I know the mean is going to be represented by E of X. E of X is going to equal NP, and I know that N is 20, and we know that P is 0.3. Okay, so the expectation is going to be 6. Standard deviation, I won't be able to find straight away, but I can find the variance, and I know how those are connected. The standard deviation is the square root of the variance. Now the variance is going to be N, P, Q. Once again, N is 20, P is 0.3, so Q must be 0.7. I know that P and Q will add together to give me 1. Okay, and multiplying these, I get 4.2, and the standard deviation is going to be the square root of 4.2. Square root of 4.2 is going to be with 2.0494. Right, that was nice and straightforward. On to the next one. The Director of Studies believes that the proportion of parents who do not support the new curriculum is greater than 30%. Given that in the survey 20 parents do not support the new curriculum, test at the 5% level of significance the Director of Studies' belief. State your hypotheses clearly. All right, so we're going to go ahead and look for some clues in the question. All right, the Director of Studies believes the proportion of parents who do not support the new curriculum is greater than 30%. Okay, that's going to help with my hypothesis setting. Given that in the survey 20 parents, okay, so there's 20 parents, and 8 of them do not support the new curriculum. All right, so from that, I know that N is going to be 20, but on my observed value, that's what the 8 is for. 8 is the observed value. Okay, let's set up this hypothesis test. Firstly, what is the distribution? We're going to follow a binomial distribution. N is 20, P is 0.3. Immediately I can get the expectation. We've already found that. Expectation equals 6. Significance level, alpha equals 0.05. Just double check if it's a one-tailed test or a two-tailed. We are looking to see whether or not it is greater, so that's going to be a one-tailed test. All right, H0 and H1. H0 says that P equals 0.3. H1, P is greater than 0.3. What else do we need? So the observed value was 8. So I'm ready to find my test statistic. Is it going to be greater than or equal to 8 or less than or equal to 8? Remembering we're trying to avoid the expectation, greater than or equal to 8. Okay, if I want to make use of the tables, I need to turn this around. 1 minus less than or equal to 7. 1 minus 0.7723. And final answer 0.2277. How does that compare to the significance level? 0.2277 is larger than the significance level, quite a bit larger. Just to remind myself, the alternate hypothesis is the claim that was made. So there is not enough evidence for me to be convinced away from the null hypothesis. So there's not enough evidence to reject H0. That's my mathematical conclusion. What will be my contextual conclusion? So in context, my conclusion is there is not enough evidence that the proportion of parents that do not support the new curriculum is greater than 30%. Be careful to make sure that you copy this phrase from the original question. Too often a word will be dropped, the word parents might be dropped, the word new curriculum, the word greater, and that just sacrifices the mark. Do everything that you can to make sure the examiner has no choice but to give you full marks. On to the next bit.